Over the last several years, same-sex marriage has been a controversial and crucial matter that has been on the rise of legal acceptance. Homosexual couples have been fighting for equal acceptance in society, along with a place in legal allegations in regards to marriage. Although same-sex couples want to be married for the same reasons as heterosexual couples, for the love and passion wanting to be shared for each other entities such as government, benefits, and rights are crucial necessities in every person's life, and one should not be excluded due to their sexual preference. Therefore, how has certain social theories intervened and affected the way society feels and engages in same-sex couple marriage, including why does the government use these social theories to create barriers for same-sex couples to be legally married when these legal licenses can help with the country's overall goal of e-commonization? Our past history and certain beliefs had led many individuals to be against same-sex marriage, however, all for the wrong reasons. Even so, the government has used these past remarks to block the right that all individuals should have to be wed, with whoever and whenever. Surprisingly, even when the government has claimed marriage to be an economic gain for the country. Thus, social theories that have been developed over time are being misused and misrepresented as ways to disallow the acceptance of same-sex marriage, even though permitting legal same-sex marriage overall benefits the country's idealization of marriage and its economic benefits. In the works of The Nuptial Deal, Same-Sex Marriage and No Liberal Governance, the Obergefell v. Hodges case, and Is the Rectum a Grave, all discuss these matters further. As we know, marriage is an important entity in society. The sense of belonging and love unique to the marriage license is like magic. No one, when they get married, heterosexual or homosexual, are thinking about government policies and relations. It's about love and the connection and bond two people have for each other. For instance, Jace Whitehead gives us an example of a same-sex couple who got married, Hazel and Amber. The law considers their marriage meaningless, but in 1997, they still decided to confess their vows to one another. However, they did not realize how essential and important government benefits of a civil rights legal marriage was when it came down to needing it. If not legally married, couples are denied taxation inheritance, medical directives, access to hospital visitations, legal standings to sue for wrong death, eligibility for Social Security, the ability to claim spouse privileges in a court, and so many more. This is due to the fact that society has depicted a set of flaws and reasons as to why homosexual relationships are frowned upon, and why marriage in these situations should be illegal and not guaranteeing these rights, when many times these couples need the help of these benefits in order to sustain a successful life in order to even survive. Therefore, why is the government denying these rights? Many reasons as to why that is in regards to the social theories that have evolved over history. Whitehead discusses neoliberalism as a logic and ethic of governing the population according to economic principles of practicality and efficiency. Within this, it aims to economize the management of the population through methods of self-governance rather than hierarchical state-based programs. This political view contributes as to why governments should be in favor of same-sex marriage. Later on, I will discuss its connection in more detail. As of now, one social theory that has contributed to the effects and ways society views same-sex couples is the evolution of AIDS. Society has created this norm that AIDS are being created and multiplied due to homosexual males. In the Obergefell v. Hodges case, this problem was addressed in more details. AIDS are effectively being used as a pretext throughout the West to justify calls for increasing legislation and regulations of those who are considered to be socially unaccepted, in this case, any homosexual male. Leo Bersani also describes this issue in more depth. Although homosexual males are more likely to develop AIDS, the awareness and misconception of the passing of age is of issue. There is a misinterpretation of how HIV and AIDS is being spread and how it can be received. This is due to lack of education in society. In relation to marriage, homosexual males are less likely to receive treatment and help for AIDS if they do not have the benefits of government regulations due to marriage. If they needed medicine for having AIDS and did not have health insurance, they may not be able to afford this. However, if they are married, their legal partner may be able to help with this concern, saving their life. These individuals lack care structures that are easily acceptable to married couples, which many heterosexual couples with one partner who had AIDS could not live without. AIDS is under control, especially in the homosexual male population, but the norm of being afraid of homosexual males being predators allows for society to have a biased and negative opinion towards homosexuals, therefore not approving and accepting of same-sex marriage, as well as homosexual males who need medicine will die if not treated properly, and this could all be prevented if marriage was legal. Another social theory is in regards to religion. Many religions and ancestral norms forbid and disapprove of same-sex relationships, and especially marriage. In the Obergefell and Hodges case, they argue marriage is conservative and a traditional view. It is by nature a gender-differentiated union of man and woman. This view has long been held and continues to be held in good faith by reasonable and sincere people here and throughout the world, dating back to Confucius and religions. Bibles and scriptures go off and explain how marriage and sexual relations are between men and women, and all other relationships are forbidden and unheard of. Thus, many agree and believe in Scripture, and therefore think if Scripture says it, therefore no other ideation should be accepted. However, the Supreme Court argues marriage is sacred to those who live by their religion and offers unique fulfillments to those who find meaning in the secular realm. Its dynamic allows two people to find a life that could not be found alone, for a marriage becomes greater than just the two persons. Rising from the most basic human needs, marriage is essential to our most profound hopes and aspirations. Therefore, all should be allowed to endure and be involved in it. Finally, the last social theory involves lesbian baby boomers and the idea of family relations. More and more same-sex couples were wanting to get married and start families, but the notion of gaining parenting rights struck controversy. Larger political economic developments of neoliberalism solidified marriage as an essential care structure, thus making the legal acceptance of same-sex couples through marriage a more pressing issue. With the help of this, it can become more essential to gain access to multiple forms of social insurance. If a couple wasn't legally married, they struggled to deal with insurance for themselves and their child. Whitehead also explains most states have allowed gays and lesbians to adopt, either as individuals or as couples, and many adopted and foster children have same-sex parents, and this provides powerful confirmation from the law itself that gays and lesbians can create loving, supportive families. Therefore, the need for the acceptance of same-sex marriage will allow for families to be able to provide the best care and health for their child. As they have shown, gays and lesbian couples provide loving homes, and they need to have legal acceptance to benefit their families. Overall, social theories have altered and affected the shift in the acceptance of same-sex marriage. It has caused controversy and stress on several individuals for the purpose of not understanding and being open to new ways of life and living. These theories have been used as barriers to block easier access to legal rights that all individuals, no matter straight or gay, should have. Now, even though social theories have contributed to the way society views same-sex marriage, the government, in relation to their views and ideas of economic gain, should be more aware and open to same-sex marriage. As we know, same-sex marriage has fought and been victimized for its desire to become a legal entity. However, the government, in its relation to neoliberalism, has taken a wrong approach to same-sex marriage. Neoliberalism focuses on what is going to be the best standpoint at an economic viewpoint for the population. Though they are not recognizing that the more marriages in the United States, the more balance and economic advantages will be created. Marriage in the contemporary United States operates as one such technology of neoliberal governments. Before going into detail on this, the government argues several reasons as to why same-sex marriage should be prohibited. The government argues marriage is an entity that has been produced way before our time, thus we can't interfere with it. However, the history of marriage is one of both continuity and change. Change such as the decline of arranged marriages and the abandonment of the law of coverture. For example, marriage was once viewed as an arrangement by the couple's parents based on political, religious, and financial concerns. But by the time of the nation's founding, it was understanding to be a voluntary contact between a man and a woman. Also, under the centuries-old doctrine of coverture, a married man and woman were treated by the state as a single male-dominated legal entity. As women gained legal political property rights, and as society began to understand that women have their own equal dignity, the law of coverture was abandoned. The foundation of marriage changed, so it can change again and again, including the change of same-sex marriage. It proves society and the world changes, and do you disagree women shouldn't have rights, so why can't marriage change? Changed understandings of marriage are characteristics of a nation when new dimensions of freedom become apparent to new generations. These new insights have strengthened, not weakened, the institution of marriage. Another concern by the government is that individuals against same-sex marriage, same-sex couples to wed, will harm marriage as an institution rests on a counterintuitive view of opposite-sex couples' decisions about marriage and parenthood. American culture as a whole is less supportive of marriage because of the rise of the culture of divorce, because it is easier to get a divorce when couples experience a temporary hardship. These hardships include economic issues from the benefits of the government. Heterosexual couples aren't perfect, therefore why can't homosexual couples be given the same chance? Same-sex couples have the same right as opposite-sex couples to enjoy intimate associations, a right extending beyond mere freedom from laws making same-sex intimacy a criminal offense. Not to mention, a family dynamic is positive for the economic of the country. If children are coming from loving and successful families, they will help be positive benefits of society, allowing for more economic gain. Evidence clearly indicates that kids are healthier, better educated, and more stable if a married couple raises them. Without marriage, children suffer the stigma of knowing their families are somewhat lesser. They also suffer the significant material cost of being raised by unmarried parents, relegated to a more difficult and uncertain family life. The marriage laws at issue thus harm and humiliate the children of same-sex couples. By giving recognition and legal structure to their parents' relationship, marriage allows children to understand the integrity and closeness of their own family and its concord with other families in the community and in their daily lives. If society and the government feels economic support children, then marriage should be accepted for two incomes, and the normal family form should not matter. For example, classic modern movies and television shows demonstrate and support this theory about same-sex couple marriages being positive entities in family situations. Hence, it is important for same-sex marriage to occur for the benefits of the economic value of the future of children and how they will contribute to society. The government claims that neoliberalism allows for self-sufficient industries to have control of certain issues and concerns, therefore giving power to be more self-sufficient in society. Thus, classical liberalism in the USA devalues self-sufficiency among poor individuals but still promotes marriage as a key to social stability and economic well-being. PRWORA is an organization aimed to reduce welfare caseloads by promoting personal responsibility. At the same time, though, PRWORA mandated work requirements. It also contained provisions encouraging states to create many problems that would persuade poor women to marry. Although the state is promoting personal responsibilities, why are they still trying to persuade women to be married? A poor woman may be independently supporting her family on her own, as wanting in a neoliberalism society. However, the government is not okay with that because it brings down the economic level of success in the United States. They claim marriage is the key to social stability and economic well-being. Plus, the Bush administration used social scientific research to argue that marriage is a wealth-creating institution. Marriage has the potential to reduce welfare caseloads, promoting marriage making the state more economically efficient. The role of marriage in welfare policy seemed to reflect the priorities of neoliberal forms of governance, to secure the smooth, efficient operations of the state rather than to improve the lives of the citizens. Our history made marriage the basis for an expanding list of governmental rights, benefits, and responsibilities. Thus, to have these governmental rights, you need to be married. Everyone should have the opportunity with whoever they choose. This harm results in more than just material burdens. Same-sex couples are consigned to an instability many opposite-sex couples would deem intolerable in their own lives. The marriage laws at issue are in essence unequal. Same-sex couples are denied benefits afforded to opposite-sex couples and are barred from exercising a fundamental right. Precisely, racist government programs and patterns of neoliberal government economic development have caused unemployment, underemployment, and lower rates of marriage. Overall, the fight for same-sex marriage was a long and unequal process. Instead of denying same-sex marriage, the government should have been promoting it, because it helps with the country's overall economic gain and advance all around the world. Its lack of awareness in history's social theorist viewpoints caused several hardships and disparity for many homosexual individuals. Hardship and disparity that will forever be implanted in the LGBTQ community.